Hello, good morning. I am Dr. E. Srinivasa, working as an assistant professor of physics in IDSG Government College, Chikmagalur. Today, in this video, I am going to explain some concepts in nuclear reactions, especially expression for threshold energy, what is threshold energy, and also nuclear cross section. This nuclear reaction is a chapter for a third BSc physics students studying in 6th sem for paper 8, nuclear and particle physics, subject code SSF 611. This is the video for session number 21. So first of all, what is a threshold energy? Dear students, we already know that expression for Q value of the nuclear reaction and also exoergic and endoergic reactions. And also you know that exoergic reaction can take place even for zero projectile energy, but an endoergic reaction cannot take place unless the incident particle possesses a kinetic energy that exceeds the threshold energy of the nuclear reaction. Endoergic reaction cannot take place unless the incident particle possesses a kinetic energy that exceeds the threshold energy of the nuclear reaction. Then what is the threshold energy of the nuclear reaction? The minimum kinetic energy which the projectile, incident particle, must possess so that the nuclear reaction may take place is called threshold energy. The reaction cannot occur unless the bombarding particle has the minimum or threshold energy. Above this energy, only the nuclear reaction takes place. So, the minimum kinetic energy which the projectile or incident particle must possess so that the nuclear reaction may take place is called threshold energy. The reaction cannot occur unless the bombarding particle has the minimum or threshold energy. So, nuclear reaction takes place only if the incident particle or bombarding particle has the energy above this threshold energy only. Then we will obtain the expression for threshold energy. To find threshold energy, we suppose that before the product nucleus and product particles are given out, there is an intermediate stage when a compound nucleus is formed by the combination of the incident particle A and the target nucleus X. The mass of the compound nucleus is given by MC is equal to Mx plus Ma. Once again, to find the threshold energy, we suppose that before the product nucleus and product particles are given out, there is an intermediate stage when a compound nucleus is formed by the combination of the incident particle A and the target nucleus X. So you are already know that A is the bombarding particle or projectile or incident particle, X is the target nucleus, Y is the product nucleus, and B is the outgoing particle or ejectile. Here mass of the compound nucleus which is formed due to the incident particle and the target is equal to Mx plus Ma, call this as equation 1. The incident particle, on combining with the target nucleus, imparts all its momentum to the compound nucleus so that it has a velocity Vc. Then according to the principle of conservation of linear momentum, the incident particle, on combining with the target nucleus, imparts all its momentum to the compound nucleus so that it has a velocity Vc only. Then according to the principle of conservation of linear momentum, so momentum, mass into velocity of the incident particle, MAVA is equal to So momentum, I mean linear momentum of the compound nucleus, that is product of mass and velocity of the compound nucleus, that is mc vc, or equate for vc, we get vc is equal to MAVA over mc, that is equal to MAVA over, substitute for mc is equal to mx plus ma, call this as equation 2. So we get the expression for velocity of the compound nucleus, vc is equal to MAVA over mx plus ma. Remember this equation for further substitution. The Q value of the nuclear reaction is given by Q is equal to EY plus EB minus EA. That means difference in kinetic energy of the products with the kinetic energy of the incident particle. As we consider the intermediate stage, so here EY plus EB is equal to EC. That means kinetic energy of the product and outgoing particle is equal to the kinetic energy of the compound nucleus EC, where EC is the kinetic energy of the compound nucleus is given by EC is equal to half mc vc square, because kinetic energy is E is equal to half mv square. So kinetic energy of the compound nucleus is EC is equal to half mc vc square. Now equation 3 becomes, Q is equal to EC minus EA. That means difference in kinetic energy of the products, that is EY plus EB, that is equal to EC minus, so the kinetic energy of the incident particle. So this equation 3 becomes, substitute for EY plus EB, that is equal to EC. So Q is equal to EC minus EA. Therefore Q is equal to, we know that EC is equal to half mc vc square, and kinetic energy of the incident particle can be written as half MAVA square, or minus Q is equal to, so multiply throughout this equation with negative sign, minus Q is equal to, so here minus into minus plus half MAVA square, so plus into minus minus half mc vc square. Substitute for mc and vc, we get, so minus Q is equal to half MAVA square minus half, for mc is equal to mass of the product plus mass of the incident particle, that is mx plus ma, into, so in the last slide you know that vc is equal to ma or mx plus me whole square into va square. So from the equation for vc, substitute for vc, we get this expression. Then Q is equal to, minus Q is equal to half MAVA square. So here take minus half MAVA square as common. Minus half is there, VA square is there. Then this equation becomes, so mx plus ma, here mx plus ma whole square. 1 mx plus ma, here 1 mx plus ma get cancelled. The remaining is only mx plus ma and this ma. So and again minus Q is equal to half, from here in this equation half MAVA square is common. Take this half MAVA square as common, then we get half MAVA square into 1 minus ma over mx plus me, or Q is equal to, so multiply this inside, we get minus Q is equal to half MAVA square into mx over mx plus ma, or take LCM. So you here make a correction here, take LCM here, mx plus ma minus ma over mx plus ma, then ma and minus ma and plus ma will get cancelled. We get minus Q is equal to half MAVA square into mx over mx plus ma, where mx is the mass of the target nucleus and ma is the mass of the incident particle. the threshold energy ETH is given by minimum kinetic energy of the projectile. So from the definition of the threshold energy, we know that threshold energy is the minimum kinetic energy possessed by the projectile so that the nuclear reaction can take place. Therefore, threshold energy is equal to half MAVA square, that is kinetic energy of the incident particle. From equation 4 and 5, this is the equation 5 and this is the equation number 4. I mean call this as equation number 4. We get from equation 4 and 5, we get ETH is equal to minus Q into, for half MAVA square, substitute Q. So that is minus Q of ETH is equal to minus Q into mx plus ma over mx. That means for half MAVA square, substitute the threshold energy ETH and equate for ETH, we get ETH is equal to minus Q into mx plus ma over mx, or ETH is equal to minus Q into 1 plus ma by mx. This is the expression for threshold energy. The negative sign indicates that the energy has to be supplied from outside. Therefore, minimum energy required to initiate the reaction, that is the threshold energy, is slightly greater than the Q value of the reaction. The threshold energy is slightly greater than Q value of the reaction, and the negative sign indicates that energy has to be supplied from outside to initiate the reaction, that is nuclear reaction, that is endoergic reaction. Next, nuclear cross section. So what is nuclear cross section? The nuclear cross section of a nucleus is used to describe the probability that a nuclear reaction will occur. The probability that a nuclear reaction will occur is called nuclear cross section. The concept of a nuclear cross section can be quantified physically in terms of characteristic area, where larger area means larger probability of interaction leads to larger nuclear reaction. Nuclear cross section is the area around a nucleus facing a beam of incident particles within which the incident particles will interact with the nucleus, and outside which the particles will penetrate through the material without interacting with the nucleus. Dear students, we know that when particles are bombarded on target, some of them penetrate through empty space and only few particles will interact with the target nucleus inside the material and leads to some kind of nuclear reactions. Now it is possible how the nuclear cross section, nuclear reaction takes place. Some kind of nuclear reactions takes place by incident particles. So how many particles will interact with the target nucleus and leads to some sort of nuclear reaction, and how many of them are penetrate through? To do that kind of calculation, we need to understand something known as nuclear cross section. Nuclear cross section is simply defined as area around the nucleus on which, if the incident particles are incident on it, then it will definitely need to interaction with the nucleus, and all the other incident particles outside this area will penetrate through without interaction with the nucleus. So determination of cross section. The probability of occurrence of a nuclear reaction is measured by the reaction cross section. It is usually designed by the symbol designated by the symbol sigma. Nuclear cross section is represented by sigma. The cross section of a nuclear reaction X, X, Y, X, capital X, small xy and capital Y can be written as sigma xy. If a parallel beam of n projectiles is incident in a given interval of time upon a target foil of thickness dx and the surface area A normally, then volume of the slab is equal to A into dx. So I will show the diagram in the next slide. So if you take a rectangular slab of the material, then of thickness dx and area A, then volume of the slab is equal to A into dx. Let the material contain n atoms per unit volume, that is density of the particles. Then total number of nuclei in this slab is equal to number of atoms into area, volume of the slab. So n into A into dx. Further, we assume that each nucleus has a cross section sigma for some particular material, then total amount of cross section or aggregate cross section for all the nuclei in this slab is given by this sigma into Na dx, where sigma is the nuclear cross section. Total amount of cross section or aggregate cross section for all the nuclei in this slab is given by sigma Na dx, where sigma is the nuclear cross section. And this diagram shows how n number of particles incident on the area A of thickness dx, and this gives the cross section per atom, that is sigma, and n minus dn particles emerge from this slab, and n atoms per meter cube are given by this small and area A. So if n number of particles incident on this rectangular glass slab of area A and thickness dx, n, if dn number of atoms undergo incident on the target particles and gives rise to nuclear reactions, then n minus dn particles emerge from this. So determination of nuclear cross section. Let n be the number of incident particles in a bombarding beam and dn be the number of particles that interact with the nuclei in the slab. Here this is the slab of thickness dx and area A, capital A. On this slab, let n be the number of particles in the incident beam. This is the incident beam on the slab. So in that, n is the number of particles in the incident beam which are incident on the slab. In that, only dn number of particles that interact with the nuclei in the slab. Then ratio of number of interacting particles to the number of incident particles is equal to aggregate cross section over area of cross section of the slab. So aggregate cross section over area of the cross section of the slab. Here number of interacting particles are only dn and number of incident particles are n is equal to. So and also we already proved that in the last slide, aggregate cross section is equal to sigma Na dx over A is the area of cross section of the slab, that is represented by capital A. So here in this equation, A will get cancel each other, and we will get dn by n is equal to sigma n into dx. Here the sigma gives the cross section per nucleon. Sigma gives cross section per nucleon or microscopic cross section. Here a small amount of area, so in which dn number of particles incident on the slab, microscopic cross section. Hence sigma as the unit of area. The commonly used unit of nuclear cross section is Born. So 1 Born is equal to 10 to the power of minus 28 meter square. So you know that the unit of area is meter square. So here it is a small area of cross section. So that small area of cross section is represented by the unit called Born. The commonly used unit of the nuclear cross section is Born, and it is very small. 1 Born is equal to 10 to the power of minus 28 meter square. Expression for number of particles emerging out of the slab of finite thickness. And also we can obtain the expression from this sigma, number of particles which are emerging out of this slab of finite thickness. Now consider the same beam of particles incident on a slab of finite thickness x. If each particle can interact only once, then dn represents the number of particles removed from the beam in passing through the first dx thickness of the slab. Hence, from the above expression, we know that minus dn by n is equal to sigma n dx. In the last slide, we proved that dn by n is equal to sigma n dx. Here we have taken this dn by n with negative sign because the negative sign indicates that the number of n decreases by dn in passing through the thickness dx. As dn number of particles interact with the nucleus of the target, so the dn number of atoms decreases in that n number of incident particles. Because of this decreasing in number, we are taken negative sign. So you already know that in the last slide here, so n is the number of particles in the incident beam. Let dn be the number of particles interact with the nuclei of the target. So only remaining, see, n minus dn particles emerge from the slab. So dn, so n, in that n we are subtracting dn number of particles which are interacting with the nucleus of the target. So these are the particles which are emerged from the slab. If n0 is the initial number of incident particles, then we can integrate this dn by n by applying the limit n0 to the n, where n is the final number of the particles, is equal to minus sigma n integration of 0 to x dx. Since thickness varies from 0 to x, so starting is 0, the final thickness is x. So therefore we are taken 0 to x, so the limits, lower limit and upper limit. So this integration of 1 by n dn is given by log n by n0 is equal to minus sigma n, and integration of dx is x. So here lower limit n0 and n. So by substituting the limits, we can get ln n by n0. So here 1 by n is log n. By applying the limits, we can get log n by n0 minus sigma n integration from 0 to x. So only x is there, minus sigma nx. So if we take exponential on both sides. Log and exponential will get cancelled. Then we get n by n naught is equal to e to the power of minus sigma nx. So n by n naught is equal to e to the power of sigma nx, or equate for n is equal to n naught e to the power of minus sigma nx. Thus, the number of surviving particles are, so the particles which are not interacting with the nucleus of the target, number of surviving particles decreases exponentially with increasing slab thickness x as they penetrate through the material. When number of particles penetrate through the slab of target nucleus, the number of, from this equation we can see that the number of surviving particles decreases exponentially with increasing slab thickness x as they penetrate through the material. Here, greater the cross section, greater is the probability of interaction. So, greater is the nuclear cross section, then greater is the probability of the interaction of the incident particles with the nucleus of the target material. This helps in calculating the rate of nuclear reaction. From this, we can calculate the rate of the nuclear reaction. So, these are the reference books I have used to make this PPT as well as video. Thank you for watching. Thank you once again.